Many times a project starts with a chain band. So I've worked here now a number of chain stitches that the pattern tells me, and then it will tell me to work into the chain band. And if I'm working single crochet stitches, then usually we would skip the first stitch here right below the loop on our hook and start working into the second chain here. And we will, if it doesn't say anything else, work into the top loop of the chain stitch. So insert your hook underneath the top loop, yarn over and bring up a loop. So you have two loops here now on your hook, and then yarn over and pull it through both those two loops for a single crochet stitch. So there you can see what that looks like. The chain that we skipped, that's the one here that helped us turn the row to work in the opposite direction. So after this first one, we'll just continue working the same way underneath the top loop of each chain stitch across. Next, I want to show you what to do when the pattern tells you to work your single crochet stitches into the back bar or the back bump of each chain stitch. So we have our chain stitches here, and we worked earlier into the top loops here. But if you turn everything a little bit towards you like this, you can see how each of these stitches has a little bump here in the back of it. These are the bump that we now want to work into, and I'll show you how. So again, we will skip the first stitch below the loop on our hook. We're going to work into the second stitch, but into that bump behind it. So stick your hook underneath that bump, yarn over and bring up a loop, and then yarn over and go through both those two loops on your hook. So we're still creating single crochet stitches, but by working in those bumps in the back, we're leaving these two loops here in the front unworked, and that will create a very pretty edge if you are not supposed to attach this piece to anything else, but it might be the bottom edge of a project. So let me work a few more stitches and I'll show you what it looks like. I'm finding the bump here behind my next stitch, bring up a loop and yarn over and go through both. And the next bump, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through both. So now let's take a look. I've worked 3 single crochet stitches, and now you can see how nice looking that edge will look like here with those 2 loops unworked. So that's an option that you can give a try. Next up, I want to show you what to do when you're working double crochet stitches into the chain band. So then usually the pattern will let you skip these 3 chain stitches below the loop on your hook and work into the 4th stitch. So to work double crochet, we yarn over and we go underneath that top loop of the 4th stitch and bring up a loop, and then we yarn over and go through 2 and yarn over and go through 2. So we worked a double crochet stitch, but as you can see here now, those stitches that we skipped, they have the height of a double crochet stitch. So this will now count as our first double crochet on the row, and this double crochet that we made are now the second one. And then you can continue the same way, working double crochet stitches across the band or whatever the pattern tells you to do.